Hello, I'm Aubrey Shepherd, and this is John Rule with me again today. And we were both over at the square yesterday, or Block Avenue, where they have something called the Block Street Party. And we've got some pictures to share from there. Let's see what they look like. Well, John, before we get to those flowers, we've got an insect. It always turns out that way.
The insects are out, and the snakes are too.
That's a beautiful little bug. Maybe we'll see a second picture of him. Okay, some beautiful women and beautiful children and all the men or whatever it is they say on NPR or wherever it is. They're all
above
wonderful.
Average. Everyone's above average.
Everyone's above average. There's Mayor Lionel Jordan, and he's way above average, and he's doing his usual visit to every event he can get to, and contributes in various ways to these things. Well, there he is contributing some money to a fundraiser for a charitable activity, and there he is with Matthew Petty and I believe Matthew's father-in-law, and they were on the square and on the Block Avenue area, and these are just friends that there's a man who's an expert on wind power and various things, and his wife is a beautiful dancer in the parades around town pretty often, and there's Keaton Smith at right, and there he is with his little pamphlet for a sunshade. A lot of young men don't wear their hats yet, or they wear them backwards, which doesn't do you much good.
No.
And there was Archie Schaefer in a previous picture, and this gentleman, I can't remember his name. One of these days, I'm going to give him my card and make him write down his name and number so I can remember. I can't even begin to name most of the people in these photos. Here's John Rule and Dot Neely.
No.
Dot was the local chairperson of the local OHG Sierra Club, which I happen to be this year myself. That was about 4 or 5 years ago. She was doing that regularly, and now she's got a lot of good things. Jody Nimmo and her little girl,
Cute.
and they're working booth for, which is it? Omni Center, also for the farm, and that's Tara
Baker.
and she's the editor of the Free Weekly. To me, that's a prestigious job that anybody should want. I'm proud she's got it. This is Dan from Little Rock and his wife, and they were up running an Audubon Society booth. Dan is an expert on birds. Here's another young man who is an expert on a lot of things locally, and he's been with the Omni Center a lot.
Bancroft. Bancroft.
Yes, and we got a lot of puppy pictures and dog pictures and pretty girl pictures. It's always popular. This guy was showing off, and I can't remember if he was on a skateboard or what he was doing when he was doing that. Hey, these are some of the guys that actually run the Fayetteville Flyer newspaper, which is actually not on paper. And both these men are with it, and they were leading a band of about 5 guys. I don't know if the other guys work with the paper or with the online newspaper, it's called, the Fayetteville Flyer. And that's a tiny insect or caterpillar on the, what?
Well, for a moment, it's escaped.
We're talking about elderberry plants,
Elderberry plants.
and that's going to be some kind of little moth or something that we haven't determined yet. We'll be checking with some more experts, real experts than I am, that can really tell you immediately what species these are going to turn into. I have to look it up. The book might take all day. Till next time, this is Aubrey Show. Well, John, what about snakes?
Well, folks, when the nut trees come out, also the pit vipers, that is, copperheads and rattlesnakes come out. And I met a nice lady rattlesnake at the gate of my garden the other day. Of course, I'm way out in the national forest, but it's well to keep your peripheral vision active. And try to recognize the patterns in nature, especially the ones that are not as benign as others.
Well, John, next time you show up, maybe you'll tell us how to tell when you see a lady rattlesnake as opposed to a vicious male. Till next time, it's Aubrey Shepherd asking you to do your part to help keep the water clean, the air pure, and the woods green. See you. Hello, I'm Aubrey Shepherd. It's the 23rd of April of May 2013, and we got photos from Fayetteville, Arkansas, a few flowers, and a lot of water. Okay, that's the old pump station dam on the West Fork of the White River. You could see earlier this week, a couple of days ago, this was really flowing heavy, and the water was dangerous right there. If you came along in a boat and didn't know that dam was there, it just looks like a level river if you're sitting down low in a boat, and suddenly you'd be crashing over there, and that would certainly upset most boats. Well, there's a sluice where water is being routed directly into the West Fork. That's something that experts tell us not to do. Don't pave or pipe to get the water quickly into the stream, because what you're protecting downstream are people's homes, their property, the stream bank itself, wildlife, cattle that may be in a low-lying pasture, all kinds of reasons. See that? That's where that water's coming into that sluice to pour off there, and it's collecting water and routing it down there. This is what should be going on all over that property and all over everybody's property when there's heavy rain. Let it lie on a grassy area or a wooded area, and don't try to dredge a space, make a ditch, or do anything to get it off there fast. Let it soak in. These are the old buildings at the pump station, and this place had to be cleaned up of many materials in the soil and so forth around it to meet the federal requirements for clean water and so forth, because it had been a electroplating plant, and it had put a lot of chemicals in the ground. These two guys had been floating the West Fork of the White River, and they had pulled out just 100 yards upstream from that dam. And the sad news is, here they packed up their two little kayaks and they're going home, but someone broke into their vehicle and they happened to see it leave there and got its license plate. So maybe there will be an arrest in that case. This is where showed you something from this same spot a week ago, I think. This is where the town branch flowing from your left to right there, and see the little plastic bottles floating downstream. Why didn't these go into the recycling bin? We don't know. But they're going down to Beaver Lake as fast as they can go. So that's what the West Fork looks like, with this water, the lower left part showing the town branch coming in from the city. And that's why you've got that dirty water, because it's coming off the construction sites that are unfinished and not properly protected. Another paper cup. We had some of those last week, just about the same area. And now we get flowers. This is Asclepias viridis. On the prairies, this is the earliest blooming, and you saw one bloom about to open there. All of those are going to be beautiful little flowers in a few days. And that's what I like to show every year. Several places that we have milkweed plants. This one, it appears this year, has more than 40 stems right there out of that same root structure. And there's one of the many insects that like to get on those plants. So that's very impressive. If everybody had one of these at least that big in his yard, then there would be millions of monarchs provided a place for their caterpillars to eat. This is elderberry, and it's about to bloom. This is wild indigo bush, a native plant. All three of these are native plants we're talking about today. And it's just reaching its peak of blooming. And each day you see more. The blooms open from bottom to top on the stem structure. And they are beautiful, and like the other two, they're host plants for some native butterflies, bees, and or various critters, and they're very important. So until next time, this is Aubrey Sherwood asking you to do your part to help keep the water clean, the air pure, the woods green, and provide habitat for wildlife, even if it's just a butterfly. See ya.